That is what Tamara was doing for fun. Dylan would call Tamara and will tell Tamara that, Tamara, you're supposed to be a mother, you're supposed to bond with your child, you're supposed to do this and this for your child. So Tamara was there, she was stranded. I am a mother, but I want to live my youth life, and you are there, you're the father, and you're getting drunk. You can have all the parties you want, you can get drunk, you can cheat on me, and that's how Tamara did, and Tamara eventually had to accept the situation. Welcome guys to yet another episode of the Mind and Unbearable Conversations. It's your host Godfrey Washira, and today we are going to do it in a different way. Remember that Unbearable Conversations is about stories that people don't want to give, stories that people want to live with them, with the whole of their ears, And today I'm going to share with us a story of a close friend of mine, whom I'm not going to use their identities just for privacy's sake. And I want us to learn from this story. I want each and every one of us to be able to learn. If you're going through such a story, such a situation, remember that you're not alone. Remember, you can get out there, you can talk to a person, you can reach out to a person and talk to them and tell them what you're going through instead of going through that issue alone. So guys, I'm not going to use their initial names or their original names, but I want you guys to follow through as I start. So the story starts in 2013. Back in 2013, and at that time in 2013, the story is about this girl, and she's called Tamara. So Tamara in 2013, she was in class 8, and Tamara was just living the normal life that you and I lived when back then when we were maybe in class 8, of hanging out with friends, wanting to relate with friends, just the normal life that we go through day in, day out. And Tamara, at that particular time, met someone. And how did they come to meet with this someone? Remember that we are talking about relationships. How did Tamara come to meet with this someone? So, the normal, maybe you can meet up with friends, best friends, maybe you guys hook up and then you know each other. And that's how your close friends get to know other close friends of yours, Or you can, you find you have a circle of friends, nyi wote mnajuana, or all of you guys know each other. So one time, Tamara had a best friend, and the best friend at that particular time was dating. So Tamara, this best friend, there was another guy whom we call Dylan. So Dylan wanted to date Tamara's best friend, but as I told you guys, Tamara's best friend at that particular time was dating. So what went on is, because Tamara was dating, so Dylan was like, because because Tamara's best friend was dating, Dylan was like, because Tamara is already dating, maybe I can hook up with this lady, now Tamara, who's not dating at this particular time, and maybe we can work something out. So that's how it went. That's how Tamara and Dylan got to meet. So with time, they got to grow the bond. You remember at that particular time we had school and everything, so the bond is growing while you guys are talking, and it reached to a point that the bond was strong. They were getting closer and closer with time. So that's how it went up. And a few years now after that, the bond was already really strong, and probably the guy, or let me say Dylan, had already asked Tamara out, maybe as the girlfriend, or can we be able to date at this particular time, Maybe Dylan had asked her out. So at that time, as years went on, now 2015, Tamara was in Form 2. Remember that Tamara is in Form 2 while Dylan is, I think, if not 1 year, 2 years ahead of, if not 1 year, 2 years ahead of Tamara now. Yes. So at that particular time, 2015, the bond was already strong. And in 2015, I think there were around Form 3 there, because Tamara is, at that particular time was, in 2013, was in class 8. So 2015, Form 2 now, guys have grown, so you're getting to know more about yourself. At that time, now the bond had grown stronger and stronger. So what happened is, because they were a couple, or because they were close, or because they were dating, Dylan invited Tamara to a birthday party. So this birthday party, yani normally it's called bash. So when they went to this bash, it was the first time that Tamara went out to party. She had not gone before. It was her first time. And what happened is, Dylan took Tamara's phone, switched it off, and also switched his phone off so that they can be able to get no disruptions, so that they can be able to have a good time in that particular party. So it went down. It was the first night that our girl Tamara did not sleep home. So at that particular time, Mama Tamara was calling, "Where is my daughter? Where is my daughter?" All that time, she was trying to reach out to the daughter. Now, the mother was already frustrated. "Where is my daughter? I'm not reaching her." I can't even imagine how Mama Tamara that night slept, not knowing where her daughter had been, because all along, her daughter had always been coming home. I suppose maybe they were on holiday. If not, if she was not in there at that particular time, no? Yeah, they were in boarding. So maybe they were on holiday, and it went down that Tamara did not sleep at home in that particular night. So in the morning, the bash is over, they had fun, so now they were going home. So what Dylan did, he took responsibility, because he was the one who made Tamara to spend the night away from home for the first time. He decided to take Tamara home and tell the parent that, "Mom, I was with her during the whole night, and we were at a party somewhere, and we did not know. Time went and hangeza kuja nyumbani. Our phones died." I don't know what came at that particular time, but I know that Tamara and Dylan went to Mama Tamara together, and they explained the situation. That's how now Mama Tamara got to know Dylan. So at that particular time, after now Tamara introduced Dylan to Mama Tamara, now, they were now knowing each other and all. So Dylan also made the step to introduce now Tamara to his parents. And at that particular time, I believe Dylan is an orphan, so he was living with his uncle and aunt. So Dylan took Tamara home and introduced them. But there was one problem, and that one problem was, Tamara was a Kikuyu, and kina Dylan, the uncle, is a Jaluo man. Unajua ile igo ya Wajaluo. Hataki Mkikuyu kabisa. So that was it. Tamara faced so much rejection from Dylan's family, even though she thought she would be accepted, into the family, because, they are friends and all. So that happened. There was that rejection from the family. But did Tamara care about that? She continued. Why? Because she loved Dylan so much. So let's proceed. In 2016, something interesting happened around August. So in August, Dylan was like, "Hey, yo, we've been together for this long. I believe we are good for one another. And it's time now we go to the next step. And this relationship will not work if we do not have sex." So that was the game changer. At that time, Dylan said that if we do not have sex, we have to separate. So Tamara was like, "Because I love this person, it's okay. We can just do it, And it went down. So August was the first time that they had sex, right? So let's proceed. That is in August. I believe they were in a holiday and all, because they're in high school that time, because, as I mentioned, Tamara is in Form 2. Yes, is in Form 3, I believe, now in 2016. Exactly. So that proceeded. Around December, you know what used to happen at that particular time? The form, or the thing at that particular time was, this going in December, going to these parties of CGTSO, if you remember, totally sold out parties, the concerts that were really the thing at that particular time. Like, if you missed out on those concerts, like, you're not that person. Like, what's you say, And we used to tell those stories, and we used to have fun and all. So at that time, they had gone to buy, now Dylan and Tamara had gone to buy tickets for TSO concert, because they wanted to go for the concert. So after buying the tickets, they proceeded and they went home to Dylan's place. And I believe they spent the night there. That's when now they did it the second time. And this second time, something happened. Dylan messed up, but did not tell Grace that he had messed up. If you know what messed up is, what I'm talking about, messing up. In sex, they had sex, but Dylan did that thing, messed up, but you know, did not tell Tamara what was going on or what had happened, you know. So it went on that way. So that is around December. So the next year, that is in 2017, our girl Tamara is in Form 4, right at that particular time, is in Form 4. So January 5th, around January 4th, Dylan makes a call to Tamara. And what does Dylan tell Tamara? Asks Tamara that, have you had your periods this month? Or have you skipped your periods? So for Tamara, she was like, there's no issue. I've skipped my periods, but it's so normal for me to skip periods. Why? Because maybe I believe her cycle was not irregular. Her cycle was not regular, it was irregular. So at that time, she was like, it's okay. She just assumed things, you know. So things went on now. After 2 months, now around March there, the beginning of March, if I'm not wrong, yes, the beginning of March, Tamara started getting sick, you know, started being ill because of pregnancy, like, you know, the normal that happens. So at that particular time, Tamara was living with a sister, I believe in Longo or something, if I'm not wrong. So that time, the sister was like, this is, according to how I see her, she might be pregnant, you know. So they went to the hospital, they checked it out, it turned out positive, Tamara is pregnant. So let's proceed, guys. So at that time, it's March, right? So at that time, Tamara knew that she was pregnant. And one fear that Tamara had was her parent finding out. So the sister told Tamara that we have 2 options. It's either we abort or we get to tell mom. So because Tamara was so afraid of the reaction of the mother, they decided that we are going to abort. So everything was planned so well. Everything was planned, like everything was on schedule, how they are going to abort, how they are going to just deal with this situation, you know, at that point. So when everything was set, what the sister did, the sister called Dylan. The sister called Dylan and told Dylan that was now on Wednesday. That now, today is Wednesday, and on Friday, we are going now to carry on with the abortion. So Dylan was like, it's okay, you guys are going to do that, it's okay. So after that call immediately, now it was still on Wednesday, after that call immediately, Dylan changed the whole story. Dylan changed the whole story. And how did Dylan do that? Dylan picked his phone on that same Wednesday and called Mama Tamara. And what did he say to Mama Tamara? He explained everything. This and this happened. Tamara got pregnant. We messed up. And yeah, that's it. So, what was the reaction of Mama Tamara? So let's find out. Mama Tamara called Tamara and told Tamara that this weekend, make sure you're coming home. You're not going anywhere. You don't have any plans. Just come home straight. We have to talk. So at that time, Tamara knew what had happened, that Dylan had called Mama Tamara and everything. And yeah, so Tamara was so afraid going home. And she was so like, you know, I can't even imagine the feeling that she had. She's going to her mother, she's pregnant. I don't know if she had any explanation, but it happened. She had to go home. So after she went home, at that time now, after she went home, at that particular time, now her mom welcomed her so warmly. Like, that is something that Tamara never expected. Out of nowhere, her mother welcomed her so warmly back home, you know, and talked to her and told her that it's okay, this is life, things happen, but the real thing is, just keep this baby. This baby is just going to be a blessing to you, and you'll not regret keeping this baby. So Tamara was like, that stress had left her completely. Like, if my mom is okay with this, then why am I stressed? You know, things are good. So that is in around March now, right? So we've talked about all that. No, so around now, as time progresses, now Dylan and Tamara are now a couple, you know. I guess at that particular time, they were understanding one another, they were in good terms. So in the 8th month of the pregnancy, that's around, I believe, in August, yes, in August. In the 8th month of the pregnancy, Tamara found out something so out of place and something she did not expect, that the boy or the boyfriend Dylan was cheating on her with another girl. You know, it hit her so much to the point that she started having complications in her birth. She had to be rushed to hospital at that particular moment because of that incident. Like finding out, you know, it messed her up mentally, finding out that this is my baby daddy, we are supposed to be knowing how the future of this kid will be, but he's going out there, he's starting to make other relationships, he's like cheating on me, you know. And all that time, Tamara's mental health was being affected completely. Why? Because Dylan was always telling Tamara that at this particular time, you don't have anything to do. You can't do anything. Why? Because no man can love a girl who's already having a kid. So that was in the mind, at that whole time, it was in the mind of Tamara that she'll never get someone who loves her, you know. So she had to stick to her, even at that point where, you know, at that point where, you know, she had to stick to her. At that point, she had to stick to him, even when things were bad, you know, even when he was cheating. So it went on that way, and before that, Tamara had tried to get rid of this child by doing these things that people, you know, reach out on YouTube, drinking water that has so much cinnamon, taking pineapples that are bitter, you know, such things, or tea that has so much majani or tea leaves, you know, such things, to see if the baby, she'll get rid of the baby in those ways. Or even staying hungry, not eating, you know, for a long period of time, trying to get rid of this baby. So now we are at the 8th month. She's found out that this and this is happening, and at that particular time, she was feeling like, first of all, naturally, Tamara had a small body, you know, a tiny body, you know, such that she was feeling very embarrassed going out there, being pregnant. She had to go to hospital, she had to do her normal things, you know, here and there, but she was feeling very embarrassed, and it messed up her mental mind that at this age, I'm already pregnant, and people know I'm young, they can see that I'm young, and I'm already pregnant. So it went on that way, and that was the 8th month. The 8th month, she had complications, at least things were good, she was in a better position. Now the 9th month. The 9th month, the baby is being delivered. So at that point, she remembers the day. The day was, she didn't mention the specific day, but she said that at that day, yeah, she was rushed to hospital, and the kid was being, you know, brought to life. You know, she had to go through CS because of her tiny body. She was not able to go through the normal process. You know, CS has to be done. So had to be done. So at that point, now she was put to sleep, and the baby was born around 10 a.m. in the morning. So that was good news. The baby had been born. Around 12, she's waking up now. And she's waking up doing what? She's waking up, and the first person to see is Dylan. Dylan and the big brother. Dylan and the big brother and his big brother. And at that point, Tamara was very like, so, I don't know, in pain and in happiness. Like, you know, at that particular point, she has a baby. First of all, she had a baby fever. You know, these normal baby fevers we have when you see cute kids, you want cute girls, boys, you know, it goes like that. So at that point, Tamara had a baby fever of getting a girl. So at that point, she was happy, right? So, and she was also in pain because CS has been done, she has delivered the baby, you know, she still has that pain. So the first thing that Dylan told Tamara was, when he looked at the baby, said that this baby is actually not mine. So you're in bed, you're not yet even healed, you know, your situation is not even known, you don't know if you're going to get well, but here is a guy, he's telling you that this kid is not even mine. So at that point, it did not hit Tamara so much. It did not hit Tamara so much because at that time she was going through the pain and the happiness. She was relieved that already the kid was born, you know, and she was feeling the pain and all, so it didn't hit her that much. So guys, in November, around November now, already Tamara has given birth, has delivered. Now remember that Tamara in at that particular time in 2017 was in Form 4. So Tamara needed to do the exams because She went to school for first term. She was able to go for first term because it was not very evident. Second term, she was not able to go. The mom decided to hire a private teacher to be able to take her through, or to be able to just teach her the normal things, maths, English, the things, you know. And that's how it went out. So the exam time now in November, at that particular time, you know, the baby needs to be breastfed. So what happened was, Tamara in the morning would wake up, prepare herself, and will pump milk for the child, to leave for the child, and then will rush to school. The good thing was, the school and where Tamara stayed, they were close. So immediately when Tamara was done with exams, as other peoples were going through, you know, the last minutes, you know, Tamara has her own stress. She's going back home to just pump milk again for the kid. That's how Tamara did her exams. Like every day after an exam, you go pump, you go back do an exam, you know, and that's it. And that's how she was able to do her KCSE. So in 2018, Tamara, luckily she got a business, to do a business, you know. She was selling, she had a small shop of selling coffee, you know, and maybe tea, I believe. Yeah, so in that business, she was at least making something. And at that particular time, Dylan, now the boyfriend, who was going out there cheating, you know, was not so inconsiderate about this relationship that they were having. So Dylan at that particular time was in campus, very broke, you know. At that time, he was financially not stable. And yeah, it happened that when Tamara was making that small amount from her business of selling tea here and there, she was sending it to, you know, Dylan, at least to upkeep Dylan. And surprisingly, the mom was also supporting Dylan. I was shocked to hear this, that Mama Tamara herself was supporting Dylan with foodstuffs, with rent, with, you know, even things in the house, like even chairs, you know, the basic things that Dylan needed. Mama Tamara was giving Dylan. You know, that's how supportive she was. So, and who was Dylan at that whole moment? Who was Dylan? So Dylan was this party person. He was just getting drunk, going to smoke with his friend. Every weekend, that was his life, you know, going out to smoke, going out to drink, partying. And that affected Tamara so much. Why? Because Tamara was like, this kid is just mine alone, you know, this guy is not doing anything to help me. So what am I supposed to do? I'm feeling like I'm missing out on the point of me being a youth. You know, you're having fun while we're having a kid over here, and you're still struggling. Instead of you finding something to do, you're going out there to party every weekend, you know. So Tamara happened to join a band after that. Tamara happened to join a music band that was around where she was staying at that particular time. Go to join a music band. So that is where she was going, you know, to just have fun or to do something that she loves. That is singing, you know, a band of singing. To do something that she loves, because she loved singing a lot. And she used to go there just to release her stress, to just have fun, because it was her passion in her, you know. But the moment that Dylan found out that Tamara was going to for a band, you know, and it was a Christian band, it was a band that, you know, it blesses, it you know, the songs that they do, they bless God. So it was a Christian band, and when Dylan would find out that that is what Tamara was doing for fun, Dylan would call Tamara and will tell Tamara that, Tamara, you're supposed to be a mother, you're supposed to bond with your child, you're supposed to do this and this for your child. So Tamara was there, she was stranded. I am a mother, but I want to live my youth life, you know. And you are there, you're the father, and you're getting drunk. You can have all the parties you want, you can get drunk, you can cheat on me. And that's how Tamara did, you know. And Tamara eventually had to accept the situation, had to accept that it's okay, because what this guy told me is that I'll never get another person to love me. That stuck in her head. Like, she'll never get another person to love her because she has a kid. So she had to go through that pain. She was okay. She just had to leave the band, because even the band where she was, they were like cutting her off or stressing her. They were like giving her stress because, you know, she has a kid. And she had to leave eventually. So after some time, there was a video that was posted, I believe, with a friend of both Tamara and Dylan. And in this video, there was a friend of Tamara Now Tamara's friend was dancing. Let me say she was dancing. She was twerking, let me just put it the way it was. She was twerking. So Dylan took the video, went to Tamara's place, or met up with Tamara, and asked Tamara, see what your friends are doing. Like the exact words, angalia kenye mabeshte wako wanafanya. Unaona? Angalia kenye mabeshte wako wanafanya. This is what they are doing to keep their men. Why can't you do that? Tangu uzae umebeat. Those were the exact words that, Dylan used towards her. That after you gave birth, you've just become useless, So that thing troubled Tamara so bad mentally, because Tamara was feeling like, I am here, I'm supposed to be a young person, but when I do something fun, I am condemned because I am a mother, I'm supposed to take care of my kid. Yet you as the father, there's nowhere you are, you're not doing anything, So it was very, very discouraging to her that that is how she was being treated. So it went that way, and after the video being posted, she was very discouraged about, her not being able to keep the man because she's not twerking. So one time, Tamara decided to go and visit Dylan, because Dylan was staying in Georgia and Tamara was, somewhere else different. They just had a distance. So at that time, Tamara decided, because Dylan is my guy, so let me go and visit him today, at least I'll make him happy. So the surprise was to be a surprise visit, but it was more of a surprise to our girl Tamara, because when Tamara went, Tamara found that Dylan was with another girl, she was with another girl at that time. So she felt broken, she felt messed up, all this time you're cheating on me, you never see anything good in me. That was what she was thinking, And at that time, after some time, after that went on, I think Tamara had to sleep just in the house somewhere, but it was not a good place to sleep, just to spend the night and tomorrow to just go, But that was with another girl. So that was who Dylan was, cheating all the time, pretending that she was in this or he was in this when he was not actually. And that was the first time that she made a surprise visit. But after that, Dylan apologized to Tamara and said, I said to Tamara that, Tamara, I'm sorry for this. This happened, and I'll not do it again. I'll not do it again. And because of that, because of the surprise visit and what Tamara felt in her heart, it messed her up even mentally. She started having bitterness towards her child. Like, you see, when a child was just coming around her to just call her mom, this and this, do this and this for me, Tamara was having bitterness towards the child. So it happened that even when the child was coming every time, she would just tell the child to just go away or shout to the kid. Then the bitterness had gotten up to, now she's putting it out or letting it out on the kid. So after he pretended to apologize, time went, and now this time Tamara did another visit now, and this time the band that she was in before she left, actually the band that she was in, they were going for an event in Thika. So when they were going for an event in Thika, and his guy stays in Georgia, so she was like, I can even go and visit him. Or so something happened that the event did not take place. I don't clearly know what happened, but the event did not take place. So what Tamara decided to do is to call Dylan to find out where Dylan was. So when she called Dylan, Dylan was like, hey yo, where are you? I'm at home. Mimi niko nyumbani tu nimetulia. So Tamara told Dylan to come for her at the stage, because at that time Dylan had already moved to another different place. You remember the first time she went for a surprise visit, she knew that place. But this time she had Dylan had moved to a different place. I don't know the reason, but had moved. So Tamara did not know his exact house. So at that time when Tamara called Dylan, Dylan was like, yo, I'm in the house, I'm not busy, I'm just chilling, And Tamara was like, okay, if you're doing that, then come for me, I'm here at the stage, this and this happened, and because I don't know your house, I couldn't come. So at that point, Dylan said, I'm actually busy, I'm heading out, I'm going to sort out things to do with my ID and school and stuff. So that happened. So what Tamara decided to do, Tamara decided to reach out to another friend of Dylan. You know, they were close friends with another, I guess it was a guy friend of Dylan. Yeah, I believe. Yeah, so they were close friends. So reached out to him, and he was like, yeah, we can meet and just talk. So they went, I think they went out for tea or lunch or something, I'm not sure. But at that point, now the friend to Dylan told Tamara the truth of how Dylan was living with another girl in the house. That is why actually he did not want her to go over to her house. So Dylan at that time was staying with another person in the house, or with another girl, you know. For at that time, Tamara did not want to believe it was true, because the guy had apologized of cheating again. So can he cheat again? So he was like, she was like, maybe these are just friends who want kuongelelea mtu vibaya or to talk ill about a person. So that went on, and yeah. So Tamara went home. Tamara went home after that. They did not meet. So the time that she came to find out that actually the Dylan was living with his girlfriend, that is. So when the kid was 2 years old, the birthday was to be done in Juja. So they went on to Juja with the sister, now Tamara and the sister and the kid, now to do the birthday, right? Because the kid is turning 2 and everything. So at that point is when they realized, actually Tamara realized, that Dylan is living with his girlfriend in this house. So she had to deal with that actually she's just being rejected, her seeing that, you know. And it happened that way, and it continued that way, that she was feeling discouraged to a point that Dylan was even not telling the friends that Tamara was the mom to the kid, you know. Dylan was expressing or telling the friends that Tamara was his cousin. You can imagine. Yani cousin zone. Una imagine cousin zone to the point of, instead of telling the friends that huyu ni mama mtoto wangu, or maybe my girlfriend or something of the sort, I don't know how many he had, anasema ni, you know, a cousin, you know. And that messed Tamara up so much, because she did not know what to do. Like, at this point, she's even being said to be the cousin of the friend. It's like Dylan does not want anything to do with Tamara at this particular point. So it went on that way, and Tamara at that point was very discouraged. At that point of life, Tamara had lost all the friends that she had. Like, she would just tell a friend that, yo, you know what, I'm having a kid. And the friends will just cut her off, you know. Such fake friends, and they're actually there. So Tamara lost all her friends. Like, she had nowhere to go to. She's feeling like her life became just messed up, you know. And it happened that way. So it went that way up until 2019. So 2019, it was too much. It was too much for Tamara to handle, you know. Because at this point, even the feelings are going. You're doing everything for this Jama. This Jama does not want anything to do with you. So the feelings are starting to fade away. And yeah, Tamara decided that, you know what? At a certain time, Dylan had gone to see Tamara and the kids. And the kid, that is. So Tamara now decided to just, and even told the mom that, mom, me, what I'm going to do, let me just end things with this guy so that I'm not stressed. And the mom was like, okay, it will save you a lot of stress and everything. So Tamara decided to do that, to end things completely with that Jama, you know. And that was not easy for her, because she was emotionally connected to this Jama, you know. It's the guy who was telling him that you'll not get another person to love you because you already have a kid, so you have to stick to me. So that happened, and it went on that way, to the point that it had to end in 2019. So guys, this is the life of Tamara. Right now, she's looking for a job here and there. She was not even able to go to campus because of what happened to her life. You know, it just got messed up. She's looking for a job, and you know, all the jobs, they want papers. They want verification that you've done this and this for us to be able to give you a job. So she doesn't have that. So she's just trying all the avenues she can to be able to get at least something to do or to provide for the child, because, you know, that's what they can do with the mom. In as much as the mom is doing her best, she can't also get everything. So it happened that previously, the kid now, after being 2 and everything, now the kid had to go to school. So, but the kid was late to go to school because Tamara did not have money. She had to look for money. She had to look for avenues to get money to take this kid to school. So it happened that way. And yeah, she was now the little kid was late to go to school. But I want this story to teach us something as young people on mental health. That even as we are in relationships, we are talking about the context of relationships. Even as we are in relationships, let's make the right decisions. Like, a relationship is something that can break you or make you. It can either just break you or make you. If you don't make the right decisions in a relationship, if you guys don't get together and understand that, let's do this and this, you know, it's not about this, it's not about sex, it's not about money, it's about being a helpful companion to one another, you know, that is all about, you know, a good relationship. And I believe that each and every one of us, we have learned from this situation that you need to make good decisions in your life. You need to make good decisions, and I want to reach out to you who you're listening to me and you feel like this story of Tamara has really touched you, you know, because it may sound like I'm just creating the story, but Tamara needs help. Like the kid needs to go to school. The kid needs to go to school, that is, and Tamara also needs a good life, needs a job, you know, because already it happened and she can't change that. And yeah, if you're feeling like this story has really touched you and you really want to reach out and give a helping hand, just comment down here in the comment section and just pull up your name and say that you want to help and say that you want to reach out to Tamara, and I'll be able to connect you with her. Remember that Unbearable Conversation is just not here to be able to just share stories, but also an avenue of help for people who need help. So thank you very much, guys, for joining me, and I believe we are still learning about relationships, we're still learning about our mental health. Ensure that your mental health is at stake. Remember that everything and anyone who will mess up your mental health, they are not worth it. They're not worth the keep, they're not worth the time, they're not worth the effort. If something or anyone you just mess up your mental health, you can just do without them. It's better for your mental health to be at its best rather than you being messed up mentally. Let's remember to make good decisions. Ask people around you or people who have better experience on how to deal with things. As young people, we really struggle with relationships because they're new things to us, but there are people who have made it through. There are people who have successful relationships or marriages and they've made it through. So guys, reach out to that person, ask them this and this. How do we do this? How can we avoid this? How can we manage to do this together, you know? And that will be able to build you. So thank you very much for joining me. If you've not subscribed, like this video, subscribe, and remember to share so that stories can get to everyone and we can be able to check on our mental health together. Thank you.